So you want to find the best site for your company. It's a typical thing to do to drive around in the office complex or in the industrial park and look for a site that would best meet your needs. It's so common. You're driving around, you look for properties, you call on signs from the Landords Broker and arrange to see the properties that look good to you. The Landords Broker shows you around the property. Eventually you get to where you're haggling on lease terms, and before you know it, you've signed into a 3 to 5 year lease. And you might not even realize some of the pitfalls and some of the problems you might have just gone through. So let's talk about solutions.
Yeah, exactly. Well, first of all, you know, when you go to buy a car, do you look at 2 cars and pick one? Or do you look at all of them you can find? And from what you've just described, you have not seen everything available.
It's because the Landords Broker is really married to his listing contracts and the developers that he's representing.
Yeah, it's to his disadvantage to tell you about some other property that could work well for you. He needs to lease or sell his property.
Right. Whereas with a tenant representative,
their obligation is to show you everything. And it's hard to do. A typical business owner doesn't have the time or the network to go and communicate with all the brokers, developers, landlords to see what they have, because a lot of available properties isn't vacant and doesn't have a sign on it.
But with a tenant representative, what you've got is someone that's free, he's not married to any particular listings or contracts, and we're looking through a whole network of contacts and resources. Both developers, listed properties, and in addition to the listed properties, properties that
unlisted properties and properties where maybe the tenant has already informed the landlord that they'd like to get out of their lease if they had the opportunity, or maybe they're behind in rent and the landlord would like to get that tenant out if he has a replacement tenant. So there's all kinds of properties that you don't know about if you do what you just described.
Right.
And the other big problem, even if you did find a building that you liked, you know, when you bought that car, did you do everything that the car salesman asked you to do and trusted him completely, or did you negotiate anything better?
Serious negotiation.
Yeah, well, you know, the landlord's agent is obligated to do the best deal he can for the landlord. And so even though they are very nice, honest, good people, their job is to do the best possible deal for the landlord. And unless you're some sort of genius, likely you can't negotiate as well on your own. If you don't know the market, what the norms are, if you know, I don't know, with all the deals I've personally done for clients, I don't know that any people really that are super expert at their business and super expert at commercial real estate and know all the lease clauses that need to be tweaked or added, or how to get the best incentives to take that space, or rental rates, and it changes all the time. The market might not change daily, but certainly monthly. What was available last month is not available this month, and what was not available last month is available this month. And you know, how soft is the market, what are other people doing, and unless you're keeping up with it, you're not going to get the best deal you can. It's not going to happen. So
in order to see the widest possible selection, use a tenant representative.
I think so. That's what I would do if I wasn't one. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to learn more about facility, site selection, lease negotiation, etc., go to the website below. There we have 20 videos which will tell you probably more than you ever want to know about site selection and lease negotiation. Thanks a lot.